Hi everyone, I am back and the past week, actually it's been like more than a month. I've been suffering from sinusitis and smelling things just caused my nose to get blocked. Been like trying to stay away from coffee roasting and coffee brewing itself because just smelling the coffee grounds caused my nose to be blocked and it's really tough. So I've been trying to distract myself by not brewing any coffee, and now we're back to brewing again today. And today's coffee it's the Finca Milan. Let's talk about the process of roasting co-ferments. For me, a lot of co-ferments just taste too intense and the flavors are too fake because I realized that if you over roast it, it tends to get very bitter in the brew, and I always try to hold back on the roast for co-ferments. The flavors would definitely come out already. It's just how intense you want it to be, and I just feel that coffee should still taste balanced in the sense that it shouldn't overpower you. I like coffees that I can drink every day, or I can drink and not feel like so heavy or what Singaporeans call hing. I cannot just drink this coffee and then for the whole day I can't continue drinking anything else. That kind of feeling that you get from some co-ferments sometimes. So I want to achieve a sort of balance in the cup as well. Okay, I have no research or whatever. It's just the amount of co-ferments I've tasted and I view co-ferments. Okay, I'm not against co-ferments, obviously, because I roast co-ferments, but I think it's a good gateway for people who are new to specialty coffee to actually taste how coffee can be and in a very obvious manner, so that in times where you're not even used to drinking specialty coffee, most people will just call it acidic. I think it helps you to identify the flavors in the coffee better, and it will help you when you actually taste traditionally processed coffees to pick out the flavor notes. Something fun to just drink and talk about with your friends. So I think right now I'm not an expert and I don't claim to be. I feel that most of the time there are always two types of co-ferments. One is they are trying to improve the coffee quality of the current crop that they have, which may not be that good. For certain varietals where they try to bring up the price, they will do some special processing to up the cup quality. And then there's also the other side of the coin where you see like really famous producers co-fermenting the coffee to try to see what coffee can be, how layered coffee can be through processing alone. So I think for the coffees that we feature, most of the time they are coffees that are already high quality coffees and they are the experimental lots for the farm itself. So for Finca Milan, as you can see, because it's a Catiope varietal, which is the Caturra and Ethiopian landrace, like crossbreed. To find out what Catiope tastes like. The other thing that we think about when we roast co-ferments is roasting the coffee varietal out with the co-ferment flavor. So it's not just about bringing the co-ferment flavor and increasing the intensity for it, but to really bring out the flavors varietal itself. So I want to see an integration of the varietal traits and the processing of flavors. So although this Finca Milan coffee, red berries is something that is very easy to get in like higher quality coffees. But to know what Catiope tastes like, but I believe that the florals that we can get from this coffee is actually coming from the varietal traits rather than the co-fermentation. When we look at this, it says red berries nitrogen wash. So I believe that they use some red berries or red fruits to co-ferment together with the coffee. It's an anaerobic process. Nitrogen flush. So they flush nitrogen into the coffee bean or bioreactor as they call it, and to remove any trace of oxygen and then control the fermentation to enhance the flavors of the coffee. So I hope I'm not boring you. I got a lot of things to think about when we roast co-ferments. Enjoy roasting them actually, because I always want to get to that right balance of co-ferment flavors and varietal flavors. So that's how I look at co-ferment. This coffee is pretty nice coffee. You have to try to know brewing this right now. I'll be introducing you to my 10th brewer. This is my 10th brewer. And now it's not even my fault, okay? This is given to me by my friend. So thank you for the 10th brewer that I have. We'll be brewing with this today. Let's see how it tastes. The reason why my friend gave me this was because very easy to brew. You just have to pour it to the middle and brew the coffee. It's really good for people who don't really want to think so much in the morning and just pour the coffee right at the center. Oh, the other thing about this coffee is the cell structure is already pretty weak. That's one of the reasons why it gets over roasted very easily and turns bitter. Also why when you brew co-ferments, they extract very easily. and they also degas faster. It's just the general tips for co-ferments. Because it extracts faster, you don't want to do heavy brewing in case we extract very unpleasant notes. Oh, the other reason for using this brewer, you can use really small doses, like 6 grams. When you reach the end of the bag and you're like, oh no, should I just add a new bag of coffee into the current one and then taste how it goes? Or you can just use this brewer. But I'm not recommending you to buy so many brewers. I'm just saying that it's what you can do. It's good for beginner brewers because the hole is so small, so it's supposed to help you be more consistent to this brewer. We need to use a finer grind size to ensure that the coffee extracts quickly. I'm still testing this brewer out, so if you have any suggestions on how I should use this brewer, let me know. I'm using 90 degrees water for this coffee, and you're using a 1:15 ratio. So basically, you just keep pouring to the center of this brewer and wait for your coffee. You can daydream about stuff, think about what you're gonna do later, and you don't really need to think much. Oh yeah, I've been exercising so that I can hold the brewer with one hand. All my guy friends laugh at me because how can you not be able to hold the brewer on one hand and so? But I thought it was quite difficult for me at the start to even pour consistently, and you know, I see some people holding like that, which I think works, like you just hold this side which is not so hot. But it's a real problem, right girls? That we can't really hold a kettle on its own. I feel so maligned. We're done. It's 2 minutes 45. Really sweet, lychee, strawberry coffee. Very slight swirls. It really tastes like grapefruit tea. I think the thing that I learned from using this brewer is that it totally ups the sweetness for most coffees, and it tones down a lot of the acidic or fruity flavors compared to using a V60, and it brings out very strong caramelized kind of sweetness. I think this brewer is very good for beginners and people who are getting into specialty coffee and really confused about how to brew a good cup, and they have been not getting very good results. I think this brewer gives you pretty consistent results, and the sweetness that you would like from coffees generally, like if people tell me like, oh, coffee is acidic, coffee is sour, then maybe this brewer is good for you because there's a lot of sweetness in the coffee. But as somebody who has always been drinking on a V60, I still prefer the acidity and the fruity flavors that I can get from the V60, and I don't mind compromising on sweetness because I don't have a propensity towards sweetness. Of course, I'm not talking about it no sweetness at all, but if you ask me to choose between this brewer and the V60, I think you know what the answer will be. And yeah, have a good one today. Cheers.